Episode 1. You can come back to life without going back to who you were. There comes a moment, not loud, not explosive, not dramatic, just a moment when the fog begins to lift and you realize you're breathing again, but differently, not like survival, not like holding your breath between breakdowns, but like something sacred has begun to stir. You've been quiet, and the world kept spinning. You left parts of yourself behind and called it healing. You grew, you shed, you unraveled, but now something wants to return. Not the old life, not the old pace, not the old patterns. You, but not the you that used to know, not the version of you who kept shrinking to stay safe, not the one who lived in apology. This return, it's not a rewind. It's a re-entry with boundaries, with wisdom, with softness that no longer bends. Just to be palatable, you can come back to life without coming back to them, to the noise, to the pressure, to the roles you wore like armor, just to be accepted. You don't have to wear that anymore. You're allowed to rise without asking permission, to laugh again, not because it proves you're healed, but because joy finally fits your mouth, to move through the world, not as a ghost, but as someone who remembers her name. You can come back to love, to touch, to your own body without flinching. You can come back to morning light and realize it doesn't hurt your eyes anymore. And when they say, "You've changed," you can smile and say, "I didn't come back to be who I was. I came back to be who I am." This is your return. Unrushed, unapologetic, unrepeatable. You are not re-entering the world. You're re-entering yourself. So no, you're not behind. You're not broken. You're not too late. You're returning. And this time, you're bringing your whole self, not just a version that made others comfortable. The light you carry now is different, wiser, wilder, not meant to be dimmed, not meant to be managed, but meant to lead. You can come back to life and leave the cage wide open behind you, because this time, you remember, you were never the prisoner. You were always the key. Episode 2. You don't have to be fully ready to step into what's meant for you. You keep waiting for the moment. You'll feel ready, like all your fear will vanish, like your heart will stop shaking, like the road will light up with clear signs and no doubts, but love. That moment may never come, because what's meant for you isn't waiting on your perfection. It's waiting on your presence. The truth is, no one feels ready the first time they touch what's real. It trembles, it stings, it echoes through the parts of you that still think you have to earn everything. But you don't have to be whole. To begin, you don't have to be certain. To say yes, you don't have to be fearless. To step forward, you just have to be willing to show up as you are, tender, shaky, a little unsure, but present. Because the life that's calling you now doesn't need your polish. It needs your truth. The love that's waiting for you doesn't want a flawless version. It wants the you who feels deeply and dares to stay open anyway. The dream in your chest doesn't need more preparation. It needs your permission. So take the step, even if your knees shake, even if your voice cracks, even if the only thing you're sure of is that something inside you says, try. You don't have to be fully ready to walk into what's already yours. You just have to be honest enough to meet it halfway. No one knows what they're doing. At the beginning, we all start half-formed, half-brave, half-terrified. But step by step, the road rises to meet us. The courage grows, the voice steadies, the shape of our becoming starts to feel familiar. Let yourself be messy. Let yourself be new. Let yourself be in motion. The miracle isn't in the perfection. The miracle is that you moved, and what's meant for you, it will recognize you, even trembling, even undone, because destiny doesn't demand that you be fearless. It only asks that you be faithful to the part of you that knows, I'm not ready, but I'm going anyway. Episode 3. You're not behind. You're just arriving in divine time. You see them, the ones who seem ahead, already arrived, already chosen, already holding what you're still praying for. And you wonder, did I miss my moment? Did I fall too far behind? Is it too late for me now? But love, time isn't a race, and your becoming isn't late. It's divine. You are arriving on schedule, not the world's schedule, not your family's, not the calendar marked with shoulds and shouldn'ts, but yours, the one carved by the stars, the one stitched into your breath before your first cry, the one only your soul knows how to follow. Yes, it's slower sometimes. Yes, it looks different. Yes, it's harder to explain when there's no certificate, no headline, no proof to show them. You're growing, but you are, silently, sacredly, on time, because blooming isn't about comparison. It's about alignment, and alignment takes time. The right doors, the right versions of you, the right moment, where everything inside finally whispers, now. You didn't miss anything. You weren't forgotten. You're not being punished. You're being prepared. In private, in depth, in ways that don't look like progress, but are actually the foundation of your entire becoming. Stop staring at someone else's harvest and shaming your own soil. Your season is not theirs. Your root system is deeper. Your storm was longer, but your sun is still coming. And when it rises, you won't be late. You'll be ready. There is no timeline that can measure your worth. There is no expiration date on your purpose. There is only the quiet unfolding of something real, something lasting, something yours. So breathe into the space between what you hope for and what's still forming. Breathe into the truth that sacred things don't rush, and neither should you. You are not behind. You are just arriving at the exact moment you are always meant to. Divine timing is never early, never late, always precise. Even when your heart can't see it yet, one day soon, you'll look back and say, thank God it didn't happen earlier. I wasn't ready, but I am now. Episode 4. You don't have to carry everything to be worthy of love. Somewhere along the way, you learned that to be loved, you had to be unbreakable. You had to hold it all. The silence, the sadness, the weight no one else would name. You became the strong one, the reliable one, the steady shoulder, the quiet warrior, and they called you brave. But no one asked what was costing you, so you carried more, smiled harder, collapsed in private, then stood up again before anyone noticed. But love, you don't have to carry everything. To be worthy of love, you don't have to prove your strength by never putting it down. You are allowed to be held, to be soft, to say, this is too much, and mean it. You are allowed to need, to rest, to hand someone your sorrow, and trust they won't run from it. Because love, real love, doesn't require your exhaustion as proof of devotion. It doesn't ask for silence. Instead of truth, doesn't need you to pretend. You're fine when you're shattering on the inside. You don't have to be everything to everyone just to feel safe in someone's arms. You don't have to earn your place by bleeding quietly. What if love wasn't something you had to perform for? What if love was the thing that whispered, you can set it down now. I'm not going anywhere. Let that in. Let it shake the foundation of every survival pattern you once mistook for love. Let it rewrite the story that said your worth was tied to your usefulness. You are not a burden for being tired. You are not selfish for needing help. You are not unlovable for needing space to breathe. You spent a lifetime earning love that should have been yours just for being here. So today, let that love find you. Unmasked, let it see the tremble in your hands, the quiver in your voice, the ache you don't have answers for, and let it stay anyway, because love that stays, when you have nothing left to give, That's the kind you are always worthy of. And maybe, just maybe, you don't need to carry it all to be loved. You just need to be real. Episode 5. You're not lost, you're being rewritten. There are days when you look at your life and don't recognize it. The map feels torn, the stars unfamiliar. The version of you in the mirror, half formed, half fading. You wonder, where did I go? Why don't I feel like myself? Have I lost away? But love, you're not lost. You're being rewritten. This isn't disappearance. It's transformation. This isn't failure. It's becoming. This isn't the end of you. It's the start of something truer than you've ever known. See, the old self had to go quiet, had to step back, had to surrender, not because she was wrong, but because she carried you as far as she could. And now something deeper is taking the pen. You don't feel like yourself because the self you knew was built for survival, built for pleasing, performing, belonging in rooms you no longer wish to enter. And now those patterns are cracking, and in their place, you're becoming something unwritten. It's disorienting. Of course it is. When the compass you used stops pointing north, it doesn't mean you're directionless. It means you're learning to navigate from within, from soul, not fear, from alignment, not habit. So if you feel empty right now, like everything has been stripped away, good. That's the fertile ground. That's the space where the rewrite begins. Not with noise, not with certainty, but with presence, with whispers, with a voice that says, I don't know who I'm becoming, but I trust her. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are being rewritten in a language of softness, in a rhythm that no longer rushes, in a truth that doesn't need to prove itself to anyone. Let yourself be a draft. Let yourself be messy. Let yourself be a sentence, half finished, but still worth reading. This is not the part of the story they'll cheer for because it's not loud. It's not shiny. It's not Instagrammable. But this quiet becoming, this is a chapter where your real name starts to come back. You haven't disappeared. You've just paused long enough for the real you to catch up. And when she arrives, you'll know, not because she looks like the old you, but because she finally feels like home. Episode 6. The peace you're looking for isn't out there. You've looked everywhere. In people, in places, in fresh starts, and faraway cities. You've chased silence, through noise, through motion, through another version of yourself you thought would finally feel whole. But love, peace isn't something you find. It's something you remember, and it was never hiding out there. You've been taught that if you achieve enough, earn enough, heal enough, you'll finally feel it. That elusive quiet, that long exhale, that feeling that says, I'm safe now. But peace isn't a finish line. It's not the prize at the end of your performance. It's not in the next version of you. The thinner one, the richer one, the one with fewer cracks. It's in this breath, right now, the one where your shoulders drop without needing a reason, the one where your chest softens without waiting for approval. Peace isn't something you chase. It's what arrives when you stop running, when you stop performing for the world, when you stop negotiating with your worth, when you stop begging for permission to rest. That's where peace finds you, in the stillness, beneath all the noise you thought was necessary. It's not dramatic. It won't announce itself. It won't feel like fireworks, more like a whisper, more like the moment your nervous system starts to trust you again. You'll notice it when you no longer panic, in the absence of chaos, when you realize you don't have to prove your pain to be believed, when you let joy visit your body without guilt. That's peace. Not perfect, not pure, but present. You won't find it in the next relationship, or a job, or a city. You'll find it when you sit down in the middle of your own life and say, even now, even here, I choose stillness. Because peace isn't out there, waiting to be earned. It's inside you, waiting to be reclaimed. So stop looking. Start listening. To the space between thoughts. To the rhythm beneath pressure. To the softness under survival. That's where it lives. That's where it always has. And the most powerful thing you can do today? Let it in, even before you think you deserve it. Episode 7. You are still worthy, even if you're still healing. Somewhere along the way, you were told that healing makes you whole, and wholeness makes you worthy. That until the ache is gone, until the past is processed, until your reflection no longer flinches, you must wait. Wait to love. Wait to be seen. Wait to finally deserve what your heart has always longed for. But love, you are not a project. That must be completed, to be cherished. You are not a checklist, not a timeline, not a when I'm better version of yourself, waiting in the wings. You are already enough, not because you finish healing, but because you're still here, still trying, still choosing softness. In a world that told you to be hard, your healing doesn't disqualify you. It's not a stain. It's not a flaw. It's a sign that you've lived deeply, loved bravely, and survived what others couldn't see. So don't believe the lie that says you must be spotless, to be sacred or polished, to be chosen. You are not late. You are not broken. You are becoming, and becoming is holy. You can still be grieving and be radiant, still doubting, and be valuable, still figuring it out, and still deserve to be loved fully. The scars on your heart don't make you unworthy. They make you real. They make you reachable. They make you someone who knows how to hold pain with gentleness instead of fear. You are not less just because you're in process. You are not behind just because you haven't arrived. You are not unlovable just because you still feel the weight of what you've walked through. And love that's real, truly real, will never ask you to be done healing in order to stay. So today, stand where you are, unfinished, unpolished, still mending, and say, even like this, I am worthy, and I will not shrink to be more acceptable to a world that doesn't know how to hold beauty in its most raw form. Your healing does not delay your worth. It deepens it. And anyone who can't see that was never meant to stand beside your light. So rest, beautiful one. Heal slow, heal messy, heal real. And remember, you are not waiting to be loved. You are simply learning to let love in as you are. Episode 8, your softness is not a weakness. It's your superpower. They told you to toughen up, to stop crying, to grow thicker skin, to build walls so high nothing could ever touch you again. They said you were too much, too tender, too emotional, too easily moved. So you tried. You swallowed the tears. You hid the tremble in your voice. You turned your empathy into silence because being soft in a world that rewards the loudest, the hardest, the coldest felt like a threat. But love, your softness, is not your weakness. It's your superpower. The fact that you can feel deeply in a world that numbs. The fact that you can stay kind, even when life has been unkind. The fact that your heart still opens, even after everything. That is not fragility. That is courage in its purest form. Your softness has survived storms. It has bent, but not broken. It has ached, but still reached for beauty. It has been misunderstood, dismissed, mocked, and still, it beats with hope. That's power. Power isn't loud. It isn't cruel. It doesn't need to dominate. Real power is presence, compassion, the kind of love that doesn't ask for applause. So let them call it fragile. Let them not understand. You don't need their approval. To be whole, you don't need to harden. To be respected, you don't need to pretend. You're unaffected, just to feel safe. You are not here to be invincible. You are here to be real. And real means you feel. You break sometimes. You cry in the middle of the day. You hold others even when your own arms are tired. That's not weakness. That's sacred. That's the kind of strength this world needs more of. So reclaim your softness. Wear it boldly. Let it lead. Let your tears be testimony. Let your silence carry meaning. Let your open heart be the rebellion that heals every room it enters. You don't have to harden to survive. You have already survived because you stayed soft. And in a world that forgot how to feel, that is nothing less than revolutionary. Episode 9. Your past doesn't disqualify you from a beautiful future. You've made mistakes. Some loud, some quiet, some that still echo in the corners of your mind. When everything else goes still, you've said things you wish you could take back. Stayed when you should have left. Left when love was still on the table. And some days, the weight of who you were feels like it's too much for who you hope to become. You whisper, I've messed up too much. Maybe I don't deserve more. Maybe this isn't for me. But love, your past, doesn't disqualify you from a beautiful future. It deepens it. It strengthens it. It softens you into someone who doesn't just chase the light, but becomes it. You are not what you did when you didn't yet know better. You are not the person who acted out of fear or pain or longing. You are not the version of yourself who hurt others while trying not to drown. You are the one who lived through it, who faced yourself, who kept going, who refused to let shame be the final chapter. That's what matters now. You don't have to erase your past to earn joy. You don't have to perfect your history to be worthy of peace. You don't have to pretend you were never lost to be found. The scars you carry don't make you unlovable. They make you understand how to love deeper. They make you gentle with the broken. They make you a home for those who have also wandered. So no, your past is not a prison. It's a passage. And every stumble, every fall, every wrong turn led you to the road you're on now. You get to begin again. You get to rewrite the ending. You get to step into love, into purpose, into softness. Not because you've always been perfect, but because you've always been growing. You are not too late. You are not too ruined. You are not too far gone. You are ready, not despite your past, but because of it. So lift your face. Take the next step. Let yourself be chosen. Let yourself believe, even with this history, I am still worthy of something good. Episode 10. You are not too much. You are just not for places that shrink you. They said you were too sensitive, too intense, too deep, too much. So you learn to fold. Fold your feelings. Fold your voice. Fold your fire. You made yourself smaller to make them comfortable. You dimmed your light so they wouldn't flinch from the brightness. But love, you were never too much. You were simply in spaces that asked you to be less. You were not too emotional. They were just too detached to meet you there. You were not too passionate. They were simply not built to hold your kind of flame. You were not too intense. You were just unwilling to live on mute. Your depth is not a problem. Your softness is not a flaw. Your standards are not unrealistic just because they unsettled the ones who never planned to rise. So stop shrinking to fit into places you've already outgrown. Stop bending so others don't break. Stop apologizing for the space you take up when you're finally standing tall. You were never meant to be manageable. You were meant to be magnificent. And those who are meant for you, they won't ask you to edit your magic. They won't call your light a burden. They won't flinch when your truth walks into the room. They'll expand with you. They'll meet you eye to eye. They'll say, finally, someone who doesn't pretend to be less, just to be loved. So if you feel too much, feel it anyway. Feel big. Feel honest. Feel fully. Because the world doesn't need another palatable version. It needs you. Unfiltered, unapologetic, unshrunk. You are not too much. You are just too real for people who forgot how to breathe at full volume And your soul, it will no longer beg for room in places that only ever offered you a corner. This is the season. You come home to your fullness. This is the moment you stop asking if you're too much and start asking if they're enough to hold the truth of you, because you, my love, are not here to fit in. You are here to take up space, like the sky takes up stars. You are not too much. You are just finally too free to be contained.